The views and opinions of this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers. There is substantial risk of loss in trading futures and options, which you should carefully consider prior to trading.
Make sure to subscribe to the Market Talk YouTube channel. You can watch our latest interviews with top market analysts in the country, find bonus content, and much more. It's easy. Just go to youtube.com/@MarketTalkAg and hit the subscribe button. Or you can search for Market Talk Ag on YouTube.
And welcome back to Market Talk here live at Commodity Classic in Houston, Texas, as we continue with our friends at the National Corn Growers Association. We're joined by our friends as well with the U.S. Grains Council and USAPEC and USMEF. Right now, though, we're going to take a step back to looking at what's going on in these markets. Joining me here live on location, Tommy Grisafi with Advanced Trading and ATI Pro Media. Tommy, it's good to see you, buddy.
Hey, Jess, good to be here. Wow, I just made it to the third floor, and I had no idea this was here, and this is massive. If folks are listening, they've never been to Commodity Classic, you got to go. I mean, everyone's here. Yeah. Except for the folks who've never been here, then they're not here.
Some 10,000 people, I think, registered here for the 3 days. Yeah. I mean, just amazing. And I'm sure a lot of conversations, probably many surrounding what's going on in these markets. And, I guess I'll cheer a little bit. 4 up days in corn. I know it's not a lot, but at least maybe something positive to say, because there's been a lot of negativity, Tommy.
Yeah, and we got through that first notice day bump, and we all knew it was going to bounce, but from where? And unfortunately, the losses have already happened. Yeah. And when you're caught long bouncing, if you have a basis contract and you have to sell it by first notice day, bouncing isn't going to help you then, unless they came in and bought futures or options or something in May or July of the other months. But, I gave a little talk right before I ran up here, and my point was, if half the stuff they're saying about AI is true, quit pretending you're not awesome at farming. Everyone out there listening, watching, you are awesome farmer. You're the best farmer in the world. You have the access to the most information in the world. Pretend you are awesome and you're going to have a record crop every year, and pretend prices, and we're not pretending here, we're doing some role playing. Imagine the prices are going to be lower for a long time because we're going to have so many bushels. If what I think is happening with AI, and by the watching NVIDIA stock, boy, I'd be happy if I owned one share right now.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, and your perspective, you have plenty of experience dealing with commodities and trading and things of that nature, and working with farmers and ranchers. And I know you've told me on numerous occasions that the interest rate environment's what concerns you more. So, give us some perspective. I mean, what do we really need to think about here with a market environment like we're currently seeing, Tommy?
That's a great question, Jess. So the markets have come down, we know that, but the interest rate has stayed up. When I was here exactly 1 year ago, interest rates were still on their way up, and they stopped going up, but we still have a hangover. Like the short end Fed funds rate at Chicago Board of Trade, 5.25%, 5.5%. If you are wealthy, you can get 5% money. And we went for 14, 15 years that we didn't have that. What's hurting someone like me, a few months ago, I think you and I talked about it, my wife wanted a new pickup truck, and we didn't buy it, a new vehicle, because we're like, wow, the vehicle was $20,000 higher, and then we're going to finance some of it. I'm like, forget it. Your old one's getting new tires. Let's get her waxed. And so people like me and a lot of people are stopping making major purchases or extending or making the loan longer. When you look at American agriculture, there's so much money involved, and you're either making or you're paying. And most people here borrow a lot of money to run these wonderful businesses.
Very, very true. Well, and you think about it too. I think a lot of times we get caught up in the price and not necessarily, the value with some of our commodity trading too. And I know there's a lot that goes into it. Obviously, you mentioned a lot of, borrowing of money for operating loans and things like that too. But sometimes I think we get too stuck on, I need $5 corn, and not, hey, I can make money at $4.40, Tommy.
Right. And we also have to understand too, let's get the price out of our head, that we produce a product. Like it's a management thing. You only have so much room, and we have to, regardless if you don't like the price, you still have to manage the flow of growing grain, selling grain, and rinse, wash, and repeat. It's not a Bitcoin, Jesse. It's not, it's not a thumbnail and you say, hey, don't tell anyone I own 2 Bitcoin on this thumbnail. Or not thumbnail, but thumb drive. I'm thinking thumbnails like our YouTube. Yeah. Hey, I own 2 Bitcoin and it's up $3,500 a Bitcoin today. Well, that's not physical. That's digital. But the grain trading is so physical that we have to realize we're dealing with a physical object that can spoil.
Very, very true. Very, very true. I wonder too, looking at how these markets have been kind of moving around, I know a lot of folks kind of got caught with first notice day here. You kind of mentioned that. We got that bump out of the way. We got the end of the month here. We've seen some different inflation data out on Thursday as well. But I'm just thinking out here as we're getting ready to make decisions for spring 24, with where the prices are at right now, corn, beans, wheat. Talk to me about acreage. I mean, what are you hearing from folks here? Are we going to see a dramatic shift potentially from what's being forecasted right now, Tommy? What do you think about that?
The only thing I can see that's really getting me interested, and I have to ask some of we're in Texas, but some of my Texas clients, have you seen the price of cotton?
Cotton has been up there. Yeah.
Yeah, 103. And cotton was at, like in the low 70s not too long ago.
Yeah.
You get a commodity like that we can grow in America, but we can't grow. You and I go up to North Dakota, we're not going to grow cotton. And so the states that are limited to corn and beans are limited. The acreage on the flex acres can move. Maybe in North Dakota we'll plant less wheat and more edible. But there's a lot of acreage, and not many of the crops you can plant on them look very profitable right now. So we're trying to find which one we could lose the least on, I guess. And I have to tell you, after working with farmers, if you're a financial guy in Chicago, you think farmers 2 weeks before they go plant can change their mind. It's not like that. Decisions for this year's crop have been made a long time ago. Yeah. They prepaid for seed and chemical a long time ago, and some things could flex. Mother Nature will have a say in that. But overall, why would American farmers not go plant a lot of crop? They can't help themselves.
No, very, very true. I mean, so how do we really manage this situation? Obviously, it depends on each operation and your break even, your bottom line. But I know, we think about it, we boil it down. There's a lot of tools in the toolbox. I guess I would say it's so important right now to actually have a plan and put that plan to execution, right, Tommy?
I said, God, I hope he says the word execution, because we all have a plan, right? I plan tonight I'm not going to overeat or drink too much, and that's not how it's going to go down, my friend. But having a plan, and then, like Mike Tyson says, everyone's got a plan till I punch him in the face. And we've had a little punch in the face. The question is, we got knocked down a little bit in the ag community. We've taken about $40 billion out of the ag community in the last year. And that comes right out of small towns and everything else. We also have some really positives. I mean, if you own land, you are wealthy. There's no lying about it. Ground in northwest Iowa traded 29.5. And they always say, it's a certain area, a certain scenario, certain this. There's an incredible amount of wealth walking through this building, and it's coming through the land, Jesse. You're not guaranteed always to sell crops at a profit. But over the course of time, American agriculture and land is going to become very valuable. And that's why when I did that speech with AI today, if 1/4 of this stuff I'm hearing about AI hits agriculture, we are going to be producing massive bushels. We have drones flying over everywhere looking at crops, just like the Chinese government. When you walk around China, they know exactly where you are. Everything they can do with face recognition, they can do with crop recognition.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get the farmer to have that mental mindset that they're awesome. They're going to produce big crops. We could deal with lower prices for a while, and that interest rates are still higher. Throw all that we have an election coming in. And I have to tell you, I asked the crowd to ask a few questions, and they started asking hard questions. I was laughing. I go, that's a hard question around. They asked about the presidential election. They asked about Gaza and Israel. I mean, they weren't asking, did I think corn could bounce? They were asking major questions. And of course, I told them, I'm not running for office here, folks. I'll try my best to give you my opinion. But these are serious questions you're asking me. Great, though. I'm glad they did.
Well, and to that point, there are these things, these black swan type of events, I mean, like part of why I think we maybe saw a little bit of a bump in the wheat market is there's some talk of some dryness in the Southern Plains now all of a sudden. There's some talk we could see some dryness in Brazil. There's been some drops in their private estimates down there. You mentioned the presidential election, the wars going on in Europe, et cetera, et cetera. There's these black swan things that obviously we know can move these markets on a dime, and we can't really prepare for those, can we, Tommy?
No, but we can know what our risk is, and I can't fault anyone that we didn't know Russia's going to invade Ukraine. Can't fault anyone we didn't know that what was going to happen in Israel. We definitely don't know droughts before they happen. I mean, it could be hot and dry, then it could rain, and we think we do, but we do know what our risk is. And everyone out there listening, congratulations! It's the last day of February. You officially have crop insurance from the United States government. But remember today, you now know your crop insurance price. On October 31st, you no longer have crop insurance. And if you want to know why the American farmer got themselves in a pickle last year, is they knew they had a 590 floor in corn. They just kind of forgot it ended on October 31st. And they had the government gave them an opportunity to lay off all that risk. And then after October 31st, they reassumed the risk. And people like us, and you talk to some of the best in the industry, you talk to all of them, we tell people that, but then for some reason they didn't listen. So if you say, watch out, you might get smacked, and you don't duck, I don't know what to say, but we have to do a better job. And if there's anything we could ever do for anyone, let's go to the drawing board and try to, like you said in the beginning of the show, let's get a plan, let's get it written, let's get it executed, and let's stay disciplined.
Well, Tommy, we're about out of time in this segment. Real quick, I'll give you guys a plug. I know you're doing some great stuff with ATI Pro Media on YouTube, live every morning at 9. Give us a quick shout for that, Tommy.
Yeah, so myself and the team at Advanced Trading, ATI Pro Media is powered by Advanced Trading. We go live every day at 9. In the next few days, we're going to offer a premium service, ATI Pro Media, $1 a day. And folks like you are actually on it. You are one of our premium contributors. Go to the Advanced Trading website, look in the center, you'll see ATI Pro Media. We want to educate the farmer, and I think they can afford $1 a day for better education, Jess.
I would hope so, and they can check all that out. They can find, of course, Market Talk on YouTube as well, and some of our great content there, and of course, listen to us on the radio. Tommy, it's great to talk with you again, sir. Good to see you here in Houston. Appreciate the time.
Thank you.